Kaylee. Today, we're in Lebanon, Kansas at Triple H Feeders. I have a question for you. Have you ever considered what professional athletes eat every day? They have to have a balanced, well diet to perform at their highest level. As kids, we're growing and we have to have a healthy meal too. Animals are no different. They have to have a healthy diet. With over 6 million cattle on feed yards and ranches across Kansas, that's a lot of meals to plan. So who does it? Today, we're going to learn about the people who design and make the feed for these cattle, animal nutritionists. Let's go. Let's meet a nutritionist and ask him some questions about what he does.
My name is Dr. Clint Parsons, and I am an animal nutritionist that owns a company called Apex Technology. And I do nutrition consulting for cattle and sheep operations.
It's nice to meet you, Clint. I'm glad I have you here today. The first question I have for you is what inspired you to become an animal nutritionist?
When I was a kid, I worked for a large cattle feeding operation, basically just hoeing weeds and painting. And then eventually, as I got older, I got my driver's license and I was able to move to a research division of that feeding operation. And I got to work very closely with who they used as their nutritionists at the time, as I drove a feed truck for the research. And so as I got to know those consultants, those nutrition professionals more closely, I started understanding that that was the life I kind of wanted to lead.
That's really cool, Clint. So what actually is an animal nutritionist?
An animal nutritionist is a specialist who focuses on understanding the nutritional needs of animals and how to put diets together to achieve certain goals, like fattening steers, or producing more eggs, or producing more milk.
So now that we know what an animal nutritionist is, can you explain why animal nutritionists are important in the agriculture industry?
It's important to have an animal nutritionist in the agriculture industry for the same reason it's important to have doctors and nutritionists in humans. When you don't eat the right foods or you eat consistently bad or poor, you don't feel well, you're not very productive, and can often lead to pretty serious sickness and maybe even death. And so that's why it's important for animal nutritionists to do this for cattle, is because in order to ensure the health and safety of our beef and also of the animals, we need to understand the needs and put diets together that meet those needs in a healthy and safe way.
Wow, Clint. So how do you know what actually goes into the animal's diet?
Do is ask a whole bunch of questions about what do they want to achieve, what are the goals that we're trying to meet, how would they like that to happen, what specific ingredients, and by ingredients I'm talking about like things on their plate, right? Like silage, do they have a pile of silage? What type of hay do they have? What grain do they have? All of these things that we're going to add together to create this meal for this animal. Then, after we kind of have a clear representation of where we want to go, I'll take samples of those ingredients and I'll send them into a professional laboratory that will give me a breakdown of the nutrient densities of those ingredients. And then basically it's just a math equation on how to put them all together to become a diet that meets those needs.
Now, let's have a look at what every day an animal nutritionist work looks like in action here at Triple H Feed Yards. Here at Triple H, cattle are fed a total mixed ration designed for each individual pen by a nutritionist. Here at Triple H, water is added to corn, then flaked to make the corn easily digestible for cattle. Steam flake corn, silage, hay, protein, and vitamins are added into batch boxes, then loaded into feed trucks, which use augers to mix the ingredients together. Then the truck delivers the mixed ration into the bunk, hopefully bringing just what the calves need to grow up big and healthy. I have really enjoyed my time at Triple H and learned a lot. Hope you did too. If animal nutrition is something you might be interested in, let's ask Clint a few more questions. Your job is very complex. Can you tell us how you gain the skills to become an animal nutritionist?
In today's competitive world, I feel like you would need to have both a doctorate or a PhD and a master's degree in animal nutrition or some kind of chemistry after your basic undergraduate degree from college and your high school diploma.
Clint, that's a lot of schooling. But can I ask you what your favorite part about being an animal nutritionist is?
I enjoy being an animal nutritionist because I get to work with producers and we get to see the fruits of our labor, get to see the results of the programs that we've put together. And I love teaching people things I think that they are interested in. And it's a lot of fun working with producers who embrace learning more and want to be true professionals at feeding animals.
Working with producers does sound fun. One last question. If a kid was interested in becoming an animal nutritionist, what activities would you recommend them being a part of?
If I was approached by a young man or woman today and they were to ask me what they needed to do to set themselves up properly to eventually become an animal nutritionist, I would say work hard at school. You're going to need good grades to get into the right kind of colleges to get the degree that you need. Secondly, work on your communication skills through programs like at FFA and 4-H. Public speaking is a big factor. And then take as many science courses as you can. Learn as much about animals and their bodies as you can through and then you're going to have to focus on math and chemistry, I'm sorry. And most people don't like that, but that's the job. And if you're like me, you'll learn along the way that you actually love chemistry and math and biology and just the study of how everything works together and how it's a miracle of how these animals are able to do what they do every day on a daily basis with the ingredients that we feed them. It's absolutely fascinating to me.
Cattle's superpower is that they can turn plants and grasses into essential nutrients for human use. I'm sure glad we have animal nutritionists like Clint that designs these diets to keep them healthy and growing. I would like to thank the crew at Triple H Feeders for allowing me to film and tour their operation. And thank you to Dr. Clint Parsons for taking the time to answer my questions and telling us about being an animal nutritionist.